We're on episode 3, and Sikhulile Nzuza steps forward and sits proud as he starts talking about Mabala Noise. He's the label manager since 2015, when the label was called Mabala. He gives props to djhonxho, who was the brains behind the label, and then continues to talk on Reggie, the famous owner of the record label. Flabba, the COO of the label, basically Delphine from episode 1, runs the label as the COO always does in any company. Easily the most important person in any label or agency. He seems on the ball a lot, but a little nervous. He's not a camera guy, maybe he prefers to get things done in the background. He speaks on Robbie Malinga and the conversations they had and the differences between a major record label and an independent record label. After that conversation, Reggie believed the company had capacity to be a major, competing with the likes of Warner, Sony, and Universal in SA. The vision was to take Mabala to the global stage. Many didn't believe they could do it, so they had a point to prove. This is where I think they got it wrong. They signed a lot of artists, and they also signed a lot of developing artists as well. Gigi comes in to share experiences at Mabala, and she's definitely not shy to speak nothing but the truth on why the label crumbled. She says most people were employed through connections, but they had no idea on how to run a label. The way she puts it, you would believe that there wasn't anybody in the label that really knew what they were doing. They switch back to Flabba, and Flabba talks about the launch and the success, and Siku speaks proudly on how the impact was huge, and how they did a launch similar to how the Europeans announced soccer player signing. Sakwa steps in front of the light, but he's not here to trash talk anyone, whether things went left, wrong, or not. He's generally happy to have a good relationship with the Mabala team. He also mentions that he feels like he needs the label more than they need him. Fair. So the key storyteller here in this episode is Gigi. She explains that everything looked good on the outside. It looked like the train was moving, but the roster was full of superstars with only a small team to handle them. Gigi also explains that the team wanted her in a weave and tight clothing, and at the time, it wasn't who she was. She's obviously grown into herself now, but back then, it wasn't her thing. She was a freestyle girl spitting bars and facts. So basically, Mabala confused the brand and kind of messed up the imaging, and she wasn't really even comfortable being that kind of artist. For her, it was too safe, too easy, and way too typical, and it wasn't something she wanted to do for her brand. She goes on to say artists started panicking inside Mabala Noise too. Apparently, whoever spoke up for themselves got what they wanted. Artists opened groups and worries started piling up as they realized the company didn't know what they were doing and the company was about to tank. The label at this time was only taking care of the bigger artists, the artists that bring in the money, the cash cows, the Riky Ricks. The label artist then starts talking about how Riky Rick put Mabala on a bad rep with most people by speaking up. Riky was outspoken. He ruffled feathers at Mabala because he understood his worth. Rumors at the time was that Mabala took his Mercedes back after the Metro FM speech that got everyone talking. That speech then became the reason why a lot of people left Mabala, according to Gigi. People saw the light and realized that the company may be doing other things besides just being a record label. At the time, the allegations were that Mabala was a money laundering scheme and the label was the front door and Reggie's business associates were using him to circle the money around. The Mabala story seems to be a label that had good intentions but grew way too quickly, that took on way too many artists. I think if they took their time and had a handful of guys and pushed them, it could have worked. The label is still around and artists like Zakwe are still there. Luckily for them, they've built the infrastructure and they could make a comeback. The question is though, do they still have the financial resources to do it like they did it back in 2015 when they started? That's the question. Alright. I think this episode was way better than episode 2, but it lacked in testimonials. They should have gotten more artists to speak on Mabala. People like Riky Rick, Nasty C, and I'm sure Kanye Bao would have been down. People that wouldn't hold their tongue. But we have good news. Episode 4 is up next. It rivals episode 1, for sure. It's huge. We talk ambitious entertainment. I've seen some clips fly around on social media, so it should be a good one to chat about. Thank you to everyone who's been watching our video. It takes a while to create and it's so good to see our numbers creeping up slowly. We come from a place of literally getting 4 views on a video that's been sitting for a month and finally we're doing numbers in hundreds. So let's keep going. Please subscribe for more videos and check out our other videos too. Road to 2K subs. Then we start doing discussions where I show face and we just discuss some top stories weekly. And we could also do it live. Can't wait for that. Please also check out our Behind the Label series, the entire series. where we break down every single episode in detail, and we also share 6-minute clips of the episode, sometimes 8, for those without Netflix. Alright, that's all I got. I'm out.